Now, here's a smile at the end of that. You're not going to be smiling at this one. An additional 50,000 pensioners will be pushed into poverty this year, and that is according to the government's own figures.
It comes as over 10 million people prepared to lose their winter fuel allowance following changes announced in the autumn budget.
But with many people falling just short of the required threshold to claim pension credit, which then would allow you to get the winter fuel allowance as well, the decision between heating and eating is stronger than ever.
Joining us live from Essex is the CEO and founder of food bank and support group Dad's House, Billy McGranaghan. Billy, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Are you seeing already an increase of older people coming to your food bank worried about the heating and eating?
We've seen an increase since July, August this year, and it's something that we've never expected this. We've been running food banks for nearly 12 years now, and every week is really different. They get different referrals from social services, schools, doctors, and we've seen a huge increase in just the inquiries on pensioners in Hammersmith and Fulham and Kensington and Chelsea, where, as you say, they're just over the threshold on, and they don't know what to do next, because that fuel allowance makes the difference of heating and eating during November, December, January, when it gets cold and the flats and houses are absolutely freezing, you know. So, yeah, we've seen a huge increase, and it's something I can't get my head around why Labour have done that. It's unbelievable.
I mean, I dread to think what it must be like dealing with these individuals then, because, I mean, it's got to be a strain, hasn't it? Because when you're seeing so many people who are in distress over their situations, that's got to be really tough.
Well, Stephen, we're different from a normal food bank because we are a single dad's charity, and our food bank was set up for dads 12 years ago, but dads didn't turn up, it was just mums. So from there, we built up a brilliant reputation in helping anyone who needs a helping hand. And we have lunch clubs where we have pensioners who come in and they talk to us, and some of them break down in tears because they don't know what to do next. And also what people forget is food insecurity, that people might go without food for a day, and when they do come into Dad's house, they might not know that we run a food bank, and they are so relaxed about it that they can't believe that there's something there to help them without the bureaucracy that goes along with signing up for a food bank, you know. So we have a brilliant communication with our clients, you know. We built up a really good relationship with them, and that takes the strain of helping people because it's a two-way street, you know. And I love it. I absolutely love it because we do so many different projects within Dad's House that we have an outreach as well, that we actually deliver food and we give small grants.
Yeah. Billy, the one thing I've found with talking about this subject endlessly, which we have done, and my mum's in her 80s, many of her friends are, we're talking about an incredibly proud generation as well. They don't like asking for help. They don't like going in there with their hands out saying, I need help. So going to food banks, people that are going to food banks in this generation are going to be really struggling with the concept that they've been forced into doing that. I mean, most of these are people that have worked all their lives and they're in this situation at their most vulnerable years that they have to hold their hands out and ask for help.
Absolutely, Dawn. And what I'll do, I'll send you and I'll give you an open invitation to come to Dad's House and meet our clients, you know, because I love old school. My mother, God bless her, she would be nearly 90 now, you know, and she wouldn't ask for help. Hence why food insecurity, no one really talks about that. So when they come into Dad's House, we're not a normal food bank, Dawn. You know, we've got guitar lessons, we've got breakfast clubs, we've got yoga. So our food is there. And when you build that relationship, that's when people tell you things. You know, they tell you that they've not had any breakfast, they've not had any lunch. As an example, one of our clients, she's a wee pensioner, beautiful woman, and she's got a private pension. She's worked all her life. And she burst into tears because she wasn't entitled to any of the allowances that the government was giving everyone this time last year because she's just over that threshold.
Yeah.
And I burst into tears because she couldn't buy an ice cream. All her money was gone on towards the council tax that she wasn't entitled to, and the housing benefit she wasn't entitled to. You know, so when it comes to older people, you have to look after them. You have to let them know there's no bureaucracy in Dad's house. You know, and when they, as I say, when they do come into Dad's house, some of them play the guitar.
Yeah. But this is
it's not all doom and gloom.
No, well, and that's good because
Yeah.
actually it's good that you're providing a place where people can go and have a good time, actually, and some companionship. I just find it staggering, Billy, that we are in a position where we don't seem to be showing respect for our elders, for those people who have worked all their lives. We don't seem to be saying, we will look after you now. I mean, as a society, I mean, obviously you are doing exactly that, but I can't get my head around that we have descended into this pit, really.
Well, no, I agree with you. I was talking to Annabelle about that last night, and Annabelle's going to set up an art class within Dad's house and Essex for older people, you know. So she's a brilliant artist, and the respect that people deserve is there. You know, but people don't know how to help. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
The communities that we were brought up in, they no longer exist.
Yeah.
So what we do within our area of Hammersmith and Fulham, Kensington, Chelsea, with the Elscote development, we have a brilliant social impact that we've got an open door policy for anyone who wants to come in and have a cup of tea. You know, so our age group ranges between 2-year-old and 90. In fact, no, old Rusty's 100. You know, he was 100 last month. Wow. So he still comes to Dad's house, has his lunch and has a little chat, you know, and his carers bring him. They drive him down. And then he walks in with his wee basket. He's so independent. And honestly, and they won't take tin food. It's all fresh.
Well,
but it's still cooked.
Good on him. Well, look, Billy McGranaghan, really good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. And I like the fact that there are a mix of ages there, because I think there's nothing better, particularly than young people and old people mixing
It's
together.
great. I just want to read this quickly. Elaine, good morning, Elaine. The older pensioners are all in the old state pension and probably work from the age of 14. It's disgraceful.
Now to the royal household, and a documentary centred around the Queen is set to release on Channel 4 later on today.
The documentary has controversially been titled, spoiler alert, Queen Camilla, the Wicked Stepmother, ? It will reportedly focus on Camilla's ascension to Queen Consort and her relationship with the King's children.
Let's talk to royal commentator and former royal gardener, Jack Stooks. Morning to you, Jack.
Hi.
I have to say, I'm offended by the title already.
I think the title is to pull people in, isn't it? They've always got to find some kind of headline to get you riled up, get you going, get you intrigued as to what's coming. I think the reason is they're trying to use the sort of Harry versus Camilla story very much from what he said in his book. I don't know if we can say she's the wicked stepmother. I think we all know from talking to friends and family who have stepmothers, there's always an excuse. Oh, well, she's not my real mother. So there's always going to be that from any family, be it royal family, be it say, for instance, my sister's family. And there's always going to be something that's going to be said that's going to cause some kind of ruckus. I know Harry has been very controversial in his book. The book's obviously done very well because it was so controversial. So perhaps he was putting things in the book to make it a lot more controversial. I obviously know the Queen. I know the King. I know Prince Harry. I know the royal family quite well. And I never saw her do anything out of place, be awful to her family. She was always very wonderful a person. She still is. She goes out of her way to be polite to whoever she can be. She'll speak to anybody. and she's a lovely person. So I don't know quite what this is going to say about her or about the family, whether it's going to be positive about the Queen or negative. Personally, I think it should be positive because she's a great person, and I don't think she's put her foot wrong since being the Queen, or even when she was the Duchess of Cornwall.
Jack, it does seem to be. I personally, I've covered the the royal family for many, many years.
Yeah.
I mean, from Diana's day, and I don't ever remember recently hearing a bad word about Camilla. Certainly from any of her family or any staff members, and we know Buckingham Palace leaks like a sieve. So it does seem to be, unlike some people we hear stories about, where there are allegations of bullying, etc., etc. Not mentioning any names. So do you think this is just literally, going on Harry's word that she threw him under the bus? I mean, that's pretty much what Harry said, isn't it?
It is what Harry said. I think there was a lot more to that story than we might all know. I know the royal household has a press office that controls what stories come out, it controls what pictures are shown. I mean, we can see that with the Prince and Princess of Wales as to what photos are allowed out, what photos we're allowed to see or what we're not allowed to see, or when we found out about the King, his cancer diagnosis. And at that time, I think that the Princess of Wales had the same diagnosis, but that was kept very private because they didn't want anybody knowing. So there are things that are, I suppose, pushed out and shared, and there's things that aren't. And I don't know, perhaps at the time, stories were being pushed out of Harry rather than of anybody else. And, like, instead of having awful stories of Prince Andrew, let's have something a little bit more salacious and a bit more different, and push something out about Harry saying something about Camilla. So I'm not dismissing that may have happened. It quite possibly did. But I know in the book he said that his father wasn't necessarily that great to him as a kid, and when I worked there and saw them all together, they were amazing as a normal family, a father and two sons having a good laugh, having a joke, seeing them at Christmas events, blowing balloons and sort of pushing them at each other. I mean, we were all involved in it, and saw them very much as a happy family. And the same was said for the Duchess of Cornwall when she used to come to the events as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like they are trying to scrape the barrel a little bit on all of this. Jack, really good to talk to you.